This is not who he is. He needs to remember his life.
I don't want to be a part of this experiment anymore.
I can't do it anymore.
Let me out of here!
You should hear what they say about him at court. How he mistakes the earth for a side of beef.
But what exactly had Heisenberg said? That's what everyone wanted to know, then and forever after.
I am a man of science, not society. Now go study my brilliance. Go!
If you enjoy science and great storytelling, we've got you covered.
To science!
To science!
This is the Relativity series from LA Theatre Works and the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, bridging science and the arts in the modern world. Hi again. We're back with another science-themed story in the Relativity series. I'm Ron Lipkin, senior podcast and radio producer for LA Theatre Works. Today, we'll look at the remarkable life of Nobel Prize-winning scientist Richard Feynman. From his role in the development of the atomic bomb to his controversial testimony at the Challenger disaster hearings, Feynman casts a long shadow across the worlds of physics and math. He was also fond of pulling practical jokes and playing the bongos. He was quite the figure. Through playwright Arthur Giron's eyes, we see how Feynman became one of the most important scientists of our time. This is Moving Bodies by Arthur Giron, directed by Rosalind Ayres. Susan Albert Loewenberg, producing director. Starring Alfred Molina as Richard Feynman.
T-minus 15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
Now control. Roger, roll, Challenger. Good roll program confirmed. Challenger now heading downrange. Engines beginning throttling down now at 94%. Normal throttles for most of the flight, 104%. We'll throttle down to 65% shortly. Engines at 65%. 3 engines running normally. 3 good fuel cells. 3 good APUs. Velocity 2,257 feet per second. Altitude 4.3 nautical miles. Downrange distance 3 nautical miles. Engines throttling up. 3 engines now at 104%.
Challenger, go at throttle up.
Challenger, go at throttle up. Flight controllers here looking very carefully at the situation. Obviously a major malfunction. We have no downlink. We have a report from the flight dynamics officer that the vehicle has exploded. Flight director confirms that. We are looking at checking with the recovery forces to see what can be done at this point. Contingency procedures are in effect. We will report more as we have information available. We are now looking at all the contingency operations and awaiting word from any recovery forces in the downrange field.
When I went to Washington, D.C. to testify in front of the Challenger Commission to find out why the shuttle exploded, the first thing I saw outside of the meeting room was a big, shining model of the Challenger. It was orange and white and pointing toward the sky. I stopped to look at it. I remember my sister and I gawking in wonder at a model of the spaceship of the future at the 1933 Chicago World's Fair. A young guy in a Flash Gordon spacesuit was taking signatures from kids who wanted to sign up to be the pilots of the future. My sister asked if she could get hurt if she climbed aboard. He said the government could be trusted never to hurt anyone, because a manned spacecraft would never lift off its launching pad until all the proper tests had been performed.
Champ, when we get to the 1933 Chicago World's Fair, you're gonna be so inspired by advances created by men got big hot imaginations like you. Wham, pam, bam, rockets, spaceships. Champ, you're gonna feel like a kid in a candy store.
Hey, how's my driving? Zoom!
Stop speeding. Ready?
Lucille, take the binoculars. Keep your eyes peeled for cops. Flash Gordon here doesn't have a license.
We're gonna crash, Mel.
I'm watching him like a hawk.
Holy Toledo! Pop, look at those birds wrestling in midair. Never seen two birds stuck together like that. Wings are flapping. Must be a boy and a girl bird making whoopee in midair. Wow! Hey, let's see what the Encyclopedia Britannica says.
Lucille, pass me the B volume.
Oh, I just saw it here. Here. These books are tearing my stockings.
All right, I got it. Champ, women don't have brains for abstract thinking.
I'd trade my math trophies to swat one home run. So don't call me champ, because I ain't one.
I'd trade my piano for a telescope.
You heard your father, Joan. Girls aren't born with brains for science.
Really, I really love it when you notice things.
Breathe the country air, children.
I'm breathing.
Ready? Are you breathing?
Mama, I can't breathe and drive at the same time.
All right, here we go. Birds. Okay, what do you want to know? Migratory stuff?
How come feathers give me a charge?
Forget about it. Sex and science don't mix. A law of life.
Well, explain.
Son, scientists are like monks. No dames. I would have been content to wash bottles in a lab someplace, but I took one look at your mama, and bam! Crash! Crunch! Off the path, huh?
Okay, read to me about that.
Let's stick with the B book.
Okay. Look up boy, brain, and body.
What do you want to know?
Well, when's my body gonna catch up with my brain?
Dog! That makes 150 since we left Far Rockaway. I'm way ahead.
Look! Hey! Every time you see hay in bundles, make a wish.
Superstition.
Joan, honey, what'd you wish for?
Told you already.
Change it. We don't chew bacon.
I got money in my hanky to buy bacon in Chicago.
Where did you get it?
Don't tell.
It was a scientific experiment. Riddy paid me 4 cents.
To do what, sugar?
Stick my finger in an electric socket.
What happened?
I got electrocuted.
Mel, hit the driver.
Cats. I got 50 cats and 120 dogs.
Cow!
Cows don't count.
Stands to reason when you leave New York. What are you gonna find out here?
Hobos. I counted about 300. Riddy, you're gonna end up a bum if you don't keep your grades up and stop thinking about dames. A good number cruncher like you could end up in a big company keeping the books.
The highest calling in America today is to be a comedian. Children, who keeps us from being blue?
Groucho, Fred, and Jack.
He's not gonna be on the radio. He's gonna be an accountant.
Can he grow up to be a funny accountant?
Well, I thought you said that if he had a boy, he'd grow up to be a scientist.
Yeah, a happy scientist on the side, like me. But these are hard times. Who knows how a scientist gets a salary? I don't.
Can't you make money in this country doing something you love?
No. A law of life in America.
What did Jack the Ripper's mother say to her son?
How come you never go out with the same girl twice? Hey, lady, is your husband hard to please?
I don't know. I never tried.
The 1933 Chicago World's Fair proudly presents America's greatest living source of electric power, Miss Sally Rand!
Beats so that I can hardly speak.
Holy Toledo! Great feathers.
Riddy, what the hell? We've been hunting all over for you. Your mom thinks you got snatched like the Lindbergh baby.
Pop, I'm seeing equations in color. I got a chance to get close to Miss Rand.
You're a clean boy, saving your body for science.
I got a chance to go deeper. Find out stuff firsthand.
In the laboratory, Buster, wearing a white lab coat. You can't wear a white coat if you aren't pure. Come on.
Now look. I've never seen so many atoms so well put together. Jiggling. It's hot. I really understand now about atoms looking for partners to rub against for the first time.
Bombshells are force of nature, all right. Wonder.
Nature's a woman? Wow. Why didn't you tell me?
We're disturbing the dancers.
Oh, you just wait. I'm learning a lot. Stuff that ain't in books.
We gotta get to the Hall of Science.
I don't want to leave.
When you first learned to ride a bicycle, you didn't want to get off. And that's all I gotta say on the matter.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing me to the fair. Pop? Pop?
Dancing cheek
Sally.
to cheek.
Sally.
This is a great... The Green Hornet, brought to you by Lava Soap.
Hey, Joan. You asleep?
Yeah?
Quick, turn off your radio. I want to show you a big scientific thing before I go to college. We'll go out the window. I've already been out. I come back for you.
Well, I think...
No. I'll take the blame. I want to talk to you anyway. In private. And, I got an important present for you.
Oh, boy, where are we going?
Shh. The beach. Look up.
Holy Toledo. I'm dreaming, right?
It's called the Aurora Borealis.
Looks like a waterfall of green headlights falling from the sky.
Or a girl's potty skirt billowing my way.
How wonderful.
Wonderful. Means full of wonder. Did you know that? Let's look at it. I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why I wonder.
How does that happen?
I don't know yet.
Promise you'll let me look it up. You can have the rest of the universe to study. Believe me, the Borealis.
Okay. But you start tomorrow. I write this college textbook on astronomy.
It's too hot.
You start at the beginning. And you read as far as you can until you get lost. And then you just start at the beginning again. You keep working through until you understand the whole book.
Why are you being so nice to me?
What, did you forget already? I'm going away to college early. I won't see you for a long, long time.
What's the big deal? So you're going to Columbia on the train tomorrow?
Columbia said no.
Aren't your grades good enough?
The Jewish quota was full up. So I'm going to Mitt instead. It's near Boston. Oddballs are welcome there, I guess.
Crazy nuts. I'll take care of Mommy and Poppy.
That's what I was going to ask you.
I'm way ahead of you.
Joan, you're much smarter than me.
I know. Just 'cause I'm a girl, it ain't fair I gotta go to bed first. Before I came along, there was another baby. A boy. Poppy doesn't like to talk about him.
Henry died before you were born. I miss my brother. But I'm gonna get a bunch of new brothers up there. Fraternity brothers. Gonna live with them in a Greek house. Frankly, I'm kinda scared about being in a world without women in it. And what if I don't measure up? You know I can't toss a baseball straight.
Yeah, but you're always doing stuff you're scared of doing. To prove you're not a sissy bookworm, so big guys won't kick sand in your eyes. If I'd been born a boy, you wouldn't be leaving home looking for boys to play with. Guess everyone was disappointed when a girl showed up.
Look at page 407.
It's got drawings.
Well, in a scientific book, those are called diagrams.
407.
See? Part of a spectrum of a star. Look at the bottom. What's the name of the astronomer who put that data together?
Cecilia Payne-Gaposchkin. Cecilia, a lady.
Yeah, that's right. So you see, women do have the brains to be scientists. That's one law Poppy was wrong about.
Oh, really? This is the happiest moment of my life. Promise me that someday we're going up in a rocket together, like the one we saw at the Hall of Science at the Chicago World's Fair.
Today I'm directing NASA to begin a search in all of our elementary and secondary schools and to choose as the first citizen passenger in the history of our space program one of America's finest,
Dr. Feynman.
a teacher.
Dr. Feynman.
Dr. Feynman! The Challenger Commission's in session.
The young girl on the shuttle, the teacher, Krista McAuliffe, was too young to die.
And the winner, the teacher who will be going into space, Krista McAuliffe. First, is that you?
It's not often that a teacher is at a loss for words. I know my students wouldn't think so. I've made 9 wonderful friends over the last 2 weeks. And when that shuttle goes, they might be one body. But there's going to be 10 souls that I'm taking with me.
Arlene was too young to die.
Hello, Miss Greenbaum from Cedarhurst.
Hello, Joan.
How are you feeling?
Yeah.
Holy Toledo, you look so pale. Oh, I wish I could look like you. Sick.
Have you been practicing, dear?
My father left town and forgot to leave the 2 bits for my lesson. He thought you weren't going to make it today because you were looking so pale. He thinks girls who are dying are the cat's meow.
Ugh, don't worry about the money, honey. Besides, you're going to make a lot of money when you play the piano for Miss Steinberg's ballroom class.
I don't want to take the job away from you.
Oh, I'd rather participate as a dancer. Do it. That's better than accompanying the couples. I don't want to live a shadow life.
I wanted to go with my pop today, but he said he was going on a secret mission to MIT.
What's MIT?
A school for boys. My big brother's in there. He can't seem to get out. That's why Poppy's going up there to find out why they want to keep him for a couple more years.
You mean he's failing his subjects?
He's got a bad stomach. And no girlfriend. He's living with some Greek boys. He tried to get on the rowing team, but he fell in the river and almost drowned. Really can't get his arms and legs to follow his brain.
Is he in an institution?
I know he's where special cases go. Oddballs. Yeah, he's at an institute all right for nutcases. He's always asking weird questions, trying to figure out why things happen.
Me too.
Meanwhile, I'm the one's got to look after our parents. Keep them from being so afraid of everything. 2-piece bathing suits, high blood pressure, the rise of fascism.
You poor thing.
My big brother and I, we were looking up at the sky one night before he was sent away, and we divided up the stars. He promised that he wouldn't study my half of the night sky. That's why I loved him.
What about me? I love to look up at the stars at night.
Miss Greenbaum.
Don't I get to keep any for myself?
Well, if you had a wedding with my big brother, then all the stars would be in our family forever.
I'm already in love.
Who with?
Frederick Chopin.
Is he Jewish?
Kinda. Polish. Very passionate. Pale.
Oh, I know who he is. He wrote this awful mazurka here.
That's right.
I feel not loyal playing a song by a guy who's the competition for you. I want to keep you in the family. I love you a lot.
Chopin's body died, but his music lives. Sometimes.
What did he die of?
Consumption.
Is that what you got?
The doctors don't know what I got, or they're not telling me.
Oh, Arlene.
Oh. Honey, you're a terrible pianist. I can't steal your father's money no more.
Can I take a photograph of you? On the beach? In your 2-piece bathing suit?
Sure.
My brother likes pinups.
Feynman! Hey, you haven't brushed my shoes. Come on, stop banging. Feynman, we're expected at an important tea dance. Now get cracking. All the new faculty fleeing from Europe will be there, and Robert Oppenheimer will be on hand to welcome them and look us over. These are hard times. No jobs. Sigma Beta Delta is the best Jewish fraternity on campus. We gotta be twice as correct as the next fella. I have my second best suit tailored for you. Put it on.
If I can't take my waitress friend, I ain't going.
You haven't told Dodo?
No. She's coming over soon.
Oh, that gum-chewing vamp's been trying to noodle an invitation to one of our formal functions for years. God, you're such a softy.
Lowenthal, take that back. I ain't no softy.
I could have you expelled for choking a graduate student from the Bronx.
Take it back, rich boy.
Bookworm.
The new librarian's beautiful.
Get my books.
On your bed.
Let go!
I win. Say it.
God, you are weird, ungrateful.
Hey, weird, I don't mind. Softy, I mind.
All right, I take it back. Come on, we gotta go, Dick. Listen, walking in with a floozy on your arm is gonna make you a target of derision.
Thanks for letting me roughhouse with you, Lowenthal.
Well, we pledged to support each other. You'd help me with my studies, and in exchange, I teach you the social graces, how the highbrow world works. I want to return the favor tonight. Tonight's crucial. We want to show you off. Your original scholarship adds luster to our house. But if you don't follow the rules, your entree into the world of elite science will forever be closed to you. It's a very small world, Dick. You can't take one false step. Being talented isn't enough.
Give me your shoes. So, what's expected of me at this phony baloney tea dance?
Well, you must be as boring as possible, and you aren't going to get to first base if you show up escorting the campus whore.
Hey, don't call her that. She gives me big helpings of French fries.
You're a ladies' man and you do the numbers, but you aren't a man's man. That's a big drawback.
I get my big breakthroughs between the sheets. Visualizations galore. I like dames. So what?
Well, in America, you have to be attractive to men, dummy. Men are the professors. They get you the scholarships, put their names on your research, get your papers published. The whole system around here is mentors and proteges. And what do? You fall into the Charles River. Couldn't even make the rowing team. It's a big black eye for us.
Darkest hour of my childhood came when my father was in his Oldsmobile watching me play the outfield. I dropped a fly ball and the other side won. When I looked up, my father had driven away. Julius, it gives me a warm glow that you guys picked me. I've always wanted to be part of a team. I'm grateful. So here are your fucking dancing shoes.
Dick, tonight, please don't put on that phony baloney Brooklyn accent you affect when you want to appear tough as nails.
I am tough as nails.
Bullshit. Don't hit me. You're a piece of shit from a low-rent community and you show me no respect at all. At home, I'm special. The trophies I got. I'm expected to bring home the Nobel Prize someday. But here, I have to work twice as hard as most just to keep my head above water. I'm a plodder. While you... Professor Slater hands you his chalk and tells you to teach his class in atomic theory, and you laugh.
Because I love atoms.
And you say that you see the numbers on the blackboard in colors. I've never seen the numbers in colors.
Hello, boys. Brought you some fries, Dickie.
I can't accept them, Doris.
What's going on?
Fix her radio after the dance. Just don't take her. All right, see you later, brother. Be good. Be a man.
My tummy's starting to turn over. Dodo, sweetheart, I can't take you to the dance.
Why?
My pop's got a lot riding on my education. I didn't know I'd get in Dutch dating you, Dodo. I didn't know the friggin' dance is restricted to the boring crowd. You're so gorgeous, you'd stand out like a sore thumb. I'd be a target for more name-calling. Sorry.
Books. You think that's life? This is what I get for messing around with a boy ain't a man yet. Well, in my book, a boy don't learn how to make a dame happy is dead from the head down.
Dodo, a kiss?
I'd like to kick you in the heart, but my toes would break.
Ain't you worried about the rise of fascism? Dodo.
Yes, let's go out on the terrace. I spent time in Germany. Do you speak German?
Man, I hardly speak English.
Well, not the King's English.
I didn't do too good in that subject.
Words often betray us.
Numbers don't.
Numbers make me laugh. Have you read the latest paper on thermodynamics?
Yeah, it's a gas.
I chuckled all the way through it, laying on the deck of the Trimethy. I have a sloop. Trimethy is short for...
Trimethylamine.
Yes, a colorless liquid.
Smells like pickled herring.
I love being outdoors here on the terrace.
My mom's very big on breathing.
Mine too.
Her breathing is the first thing I remember. Up close, you know? And here I am now looking out over the leaves, jiggling in the breeze, and it busts my heart that the way I appreciate what I see wouldn't interest her.
Hey, well, what would you tell her if you could?
Oh, don't get me wrong, she's a very bright lady. Went to ethical culture on the West Side.
Oh, me too. Robert Oppenheimer.
Richard Feynman, Far Rockaway. Your pop's a big man in textiles.
And your mother's father is a big man in...
Hats.
Yes. And you live in one of his houses, by the beach.
You've done your research.
That's what I do.
My pop's a self-taught scientist. Really gave me a leg up living with him. What a brain. Those trees, even though he ain't up here, they belong to him. And he gave them to me.
How's that?
We used to go for walks, and he'd explain the world to me.
Would you give the trees to me now? But how would you explain what you see in words that anyone could understand? Even me. I'm overly educated, so, alas, I lack a clarity of vision. While you, I'm told, intuit theoretical matters with great naturalness and share them with open-hearted generosity. A natural-born teacher, as your father must be. So what would your father say to me about the glorious view?
He'd say, Look at that tree
there. Where did it come from?
It came out of the ground.
Guess what? It came out of the air.
What?
Yeah. Look, the substance of the tree is carbon. Carbon dioxide from the air. People look at trees, they think they come out of the ground, but really, trees come out of the air.
How's that possible?
The carbon dioxide in the air goes into the tree and changes it. It kicks out the oxygen, pushing the oxygen away from the carbon and leaving the carbon substance with water.
But water comes out of the ground.
But how did it get there? It came out of the air, down from the sky. So in fact, most of the tree is out of the air.
What about minerals?
There's just a little bit. You want me to keep going?
Who can stop you?
Great. Oxygen and carbon stick very, very tight. How is it that a tree is so smart as to manage to take the carbon dioxide, which is the carbon and oxygen so nicely combined, and undo it that easily? Ah, you say. Life has some mysterious force, but no. The sun shines, and it's the sunlight that comes down and knocks this oxygen away from the carbon. And now the oxygen is some terrible byproduct which the tree spits back into the air, leaving the carbon and water and stuff to make the substance of the tree.
Bravo, Mr. Feynman. Your father did a fine job of training you.
Yeah. But I'm not sure he's happy with me.
Look at those stars. Have you ever seen the night sky in the New Mexican desert? I had a big crush on a beautiful Spanish woman, ran a guest house in a place called Los Alamos. We used to go horseback riding at night. I'd like to go back there.
The night sky gives me a hard eye.
Oh, it's tremendously thrilling.
Now, don't get me excited.
But space technology belongs to you.
No, it belongs to my baby sister. I made her a promise that in our house, she could have the upstairs for herself. I'll stick to the basement. Chemistry, biology, I get a kick out of all the physical sciences. I don't discriminate that way. Hell, I'm kind of democratic about learning. I just love it all. Gets my goat how the world wants to diminish us. Tell us to become just one thing. Me, I'm an amateur for life.
I love her. That's what amateur means in French.
Do you believe sex and science don't mix?
Well, Dr. Einstein believes that the upper half of our bodies plan and think, while the lower half determines our fate. Now, just be natural about everything.
Not phony baloney.
Well, you must be as funny as you can, alive. I mean, extreme change frightens people, and there's going to be a lot of that. So laughter is a medicine that doesn't cost much, and who keeps the nation from being blue?
Groucho, Fred, and Jack.
Well, what is it? What did I say?
Nothing. It's just, I'm so happy.
The kind of person I admire most is the man who becomes extraordinarily good at doing a lot of things, but still maintains a tear-stained countenance.
What about sex and science? You didn't really give me an honest answer.
Well, I got 20/20 eyesight. I love women who are 40.
We're going to be kicked out of this mausoleum.
You know what I found? Sexual ecstasy clears my mind. I mean, the great battle isn't between men and women, but between men and the men who like them. I mean, nature is a woman, and we've dedicated our lives to studying her. She can't be fooled.
Oh, when I grow up, I want to be like you.
I have something very important to propose to you, but you're not going to like it. That's why I was avoiding an honest answer to your crucial question.
Why aren't I going to like it?
America, Richard, is faced with the question of diverting our studies from the path of pure science to perhaps applying our theoretical might to new murderous methods of self-defense. Suddenly there will appear new opportunities for our students. There will be a war. So, young scientists will be called up to serve the nation, and I think that I can get you a full scholarship to graduate school. But you must swear not to marry until you graduate from Princeton.
Princeton?
Einstein is there, you know.
Princeton? Jeez.
There's a lot of forward-thinking activity there, specifically now, with the need to develop new wartime technology. I mean, the greatest thinkers of our time are gathering there. And in physics, the great leaps of the imagination historically have been made by young men in their 20s. But, my young friend, you must delay your experimentation with women.
I just broke a girl's heart. I'm a dope in that department.
You decide.
I'll lay off dames. Your finger action. What does it do to your brain, I wonder? To move them like that. We, men, do most of our work in our heads, kind of disconnected from the rest of us.
I wasn't working. The idea. Maybe that's the difference between men and women. We, women, don't separate our soul work from our homework.
A waitress friend comes over to me and says, "You still working on that meal?"
The idea. Eating is a pleasure. Like smelling the perfume of those red roses you got in your hand. Enjoying the best life has to offer, good food and fragrant flowers. That's not working. The world is becoming so cut and dry, so scientific.
I love science.
Well, beauty's better.
So pin a rose on your nose.
You're blushing. You're trembling.
I feel like friggin' Goldilocks. I come home and surprise...
An intruder's sleeping in your bed.
I don't know much about music, but I find a dish pressing down the keys of my sister's piano. That's plenty personal in my book.
Well, we had to sell our piano. Your mother lets me play yours when she takes your father to Dr. Gold. She's gonna love those long-stem roses.
I swiped them from Einstein's garden. You keep them.
Oh. I couldn't.
To make up for me flying off the handle at you.
Oh.
Gets my goat, you thinking scientists are cut and dry.
Tell you what. I'll take him home and paint a picture of him for your mother.
You play the piano and you paint?
I'm sorry, I invaded your privacy.
You already done that. Joan sent me this pinup of you on the beach. She said all the boys were crazy about you. And the parents, too, because you're so talented and clean. A girl of perfect repute. Your bare middle's really something.
A wartime measure. 2-piece bathing suit save on fabric.
I'm happy to meet you, Miss Flesh. In the flesh. Dick Feynman, Far Rockaway.
Ollie and Greenbaum, Cedarhurst.
What you looking at?
Signs. Joan led me to believe you're sweet.
Yeah, I'm plenty dumb. A klutz. She tell you that?
Well.
I know. I don't know what to do with myself. What else did Joan say about me?
That you're seriously deranged.
That's because I don't have a dame to arrange me.
Oh, so what about your waitress friend?
You know what I learned in college?
What?
That boring is good. Being quiet, unemotional. I didn't believe it until now. You're so boring.
Thank you.
You soothe my troubled waters, Arlene Greenbaum from Cedarhurst. At this point, when I face the family, I get the runs. Can't sit still at the dinner table 5 minutes. Do me a favor.
What?
Take off your gloves.
Don't get personal.
Sorry.
Your sister wants us to get married.
I want to.
Dick, I think I'm dying. You might as well know it.
When?
The doctors are so dumb.
What you got? Whatever you got makes you more beautiful.
Fever and fear. Heighten a girl's coloring.
Give me all the symptoms. I'll look them up. I want to take care of you, Arlene from Cedarhurst.
Well, the doctors say that if I have physical relations with a man, I'll die quicker. A baby is out of the question for me. My hands perspire. That's why I wear mittens. That's a symptom.
I'm gaga about you.
Why?
What a problem you are. You make me feel stupid. I want to solve you. I love solving difficult problems. And on top of that, Princeton made me promise to give the school my body and soul. Swear I wouldn't get married or else.
Or else what?
I'll lose my scholarship.
So, we'll postpone making plans.
Time's the one thing we ain't got. That's why I'm rushing things.
Without a scholarship, you're dead.
You don't understand. You give me life. For the first time, bam, crash, boom. I got a chain reaction going that's fusing my body and my brain into one person. I'm racing toward home plate. See, until now I've been perplexed, sad that life's laws tell us we gotta chop up our guts into lonely little pieces. The student part, the funny part, the job part, the serious part, the son part, the patriotic part, the male part, the female part. Oh, hell, I'll go along with you. Stop trying to figure out stuff in a cut-and-dry scientific way. Beauty's great. I don't want to break stuff into particles with my head. I want to let go. Gosh, it's taken me so long to integrate the whole ball of wax, and boom, suddenly I'm splitting open like an atom. New energy is coming. This is love, isn't it? That's a yes?
I can't speak, sorry.
Oh, boy.
Oh, don't kiss me on the lips.
On your pretty fingertips, then?
You're so delicate.
Don't tell anybody.
Oh, now you're perspiring. Maybe you already caught something from me.
You know what? We're starting to work on a secret wartime weapon that could wipe out Hitler and humanity, too. We could all be dead, not just you. So the best thing to do is to love the hell out of each other while we can.
Promise you won't forget me at Princeton.
Miss Jones, get young Feynman in here in a hurry.
I'm here, boss. I was making an appointment with your secretary. I gotta show you this. Look!
Feynman, you pissed me off!
I ain't never heard you say piss before.
Ain't never is a double negative and you know it. Piss! Shit! Fuck! I don't have time for this. It ain't funny, McGee.
Ain't? Well, there's still hope for you.
Yeah, but is there hope for you?
To do what?
Close the door. Lock it. I hate punishing people.
Piece of shit lock.
And keep your voice down. And I have told you a dozen times that when you are in the dining hall to cover your mouth when you are discussing our war work. The campus is crawling with spies who can read lips, and I've received reports. I've got a juvenile delinquent on my hands.
You and your gang, you're like little kids up in a treehouse. What's the password?
Yeah, well, you're not going to have to endure the gang much longer, because I am firing you from the project. You were never man enough or disciplined enough to adhere to the rigors of applied wartime physics. Please, go to your desk this minute, empty it, and bring me every scrap of paper. You may remain until you finish your doctoral work.
Sorry I didn't measure up. It's been a problem all my life, living up to people's expectations.
Professor Einstein claims that you broke into his safe. The safe contained... Well, you know what it contains.
I didn't read any of it.
So you admit you breached our security. You broke in.
Oh, don't try and keep me out.
You have no respect for privacy. Decency cannot be taught. Breeding. Brilliance does not excuse boorish behavior.
Oh, brother, those new filing cabinets you bought with the steel rod going down and the combination locks?
You broke into the new cabinets.
Well, they were an immediate challenge, naturally. I love puzzles. I'll become boring, Rabbi, I promise.
Get out of my sight! Washington is in an uproar. What other secure place did you break into?
The cyclotron in the basement.
under pain of firing squad. You are forbidden to set foot down there again.
You want me to tell you how I figure out all the combinations?
No. Feynman, what is that? What, are you stealing plates now from the dining hall? That is very handsome dinnerware. Probably nothing this luxurious will ever be made again in our lifetime, and I know you don't appreciate such things, but look, you see this gold around the rim and this hand-painted insignia?
Yeah, it's because of the fancy insignia that I noticed.
Noticed what?
2 jocks were tossing this plate in the dining hall. When it spun through the air, it wobbled. Oppie, because of the insignia, I could see the spin and the wobble weren't in sync. Do you think the 2 rotations are related? I tried to work out the problem on paper.
Paper napkins?
Yeah, I got into the habit of eating and... Read the equations in the middle.
This is very complicated. This looks like children's drawings.
Yeah, my visual shorthand. But I did the numbers. See? The problem's hard to crack.
But you came up with the 2-to-1 ratio and the relationship between the wobble and the spin.
It's too neat. I want to understand these forces directly.
What's the value of spending time on this?
What keeps me out of trouble?
Silence.
In the night.
But hush, or I will smack you.
Say, I reported to the security staff that the documentation wasn't safe, explained every break-in. I can penetrate any... Aren't you going to serve me some of your great black market coffee?
Shut up, I am thinking.
Shut up. Boy, things must really be bad.
They are.
Your hands are shaking.
Quiet.
It's like an earthquake to see my unshakable boss rabbi jiggling to beat the band. Stop it, will you? Scares me. Always counted on your politeness. Can't even offer a poor student a mug a job. What's happening? It's the end of civilization as we know it.
Stop beating on your drum in your dorm. Washington frowns on jazz.
But what else is a healthy guy supposed to do in the middle of the night? Well, what's wrong with it?
It's colored music.
So?
So it's anarchic, it's un-American. Improvisation makes people uneasy. It's passion.
Have you noticed how women got a coffee smell? Especially black coffee. That's why people drink it, to drink a dame's darkness.
Well, you're not getting any.
Why?
You're punished.
Why? I blow the lid off the crappy security?
Because you're dirty-minded.
A dirty mind is a sign of intelligence.
The principles that you're going to teach? But it's true.
Oh, I'm going to be a teacher and a half. The pop of the new physics.
If you don't land in jail. Now, see here, young fellow. I think that you can make a connection between the axial wobble of a cafeteria plate and the abstract quantum mechanical notion of spin in the electron.
Brother, that was a leap. You just jumped.
You made me jump. I am keeping these napkins.
When's the gang moving out?
You opened my safe, too?
Because of the high esteem in which I hold you, I read the contents. So, seems like you're going to get your wish. To head on out to that place where the Spanish dame lived? Los Alamos, New Mexico? Was she waiting for you on her Palomino?
You horny kid. You always have lust on your brain, don't you? But what do you know about the higher reaches of sublime love?
Send me a postcard from the desert. You're the perfect guy to devise the most hurtful instruments ever invented. You said once the best way to live was to be natural. About everything. Well, ain't you noticed that everything we do around here goes counter to nature? Not coming with you is kind of like interrupting sex at the big moment. Ain't natural. In my mind, nature is a fabulous naked lady just wearing feathers. That's why we like studying her up and down. And she ain't too happy with us these days. Thanks for the punishment. You're a born killer.
Wait.
What for?
Tell me about your woman, Arlene.
She's not my woman. Mine. Yet. Not that it's any of your business.
I'm surprised.
She's dying of lymphomic tuberculosis. The father told her she's just got inflamed lymph glands. He made me promise not to tell her the truth. The doctors think that if Arlene has physical relations, she'll die quicker. So I'm in kind of a hurry. I can't marry her. Hold her in my arms tight, husband and wife healing because of the goddamned unnatural rules of this creepy institution that won't allow wives in our dorms. Horny? You bet I'm horny.
So, you can't penetrate her. So you penetrate us. Poetic.
You're losing me.
I don't want to lose you. Now that I understand why you have become a safecracker, I feel more confident about making you a proposition. I want you on my team in New Mexico to train unschooled defense workers, among other duties, immediately. We must accelerate our development of nuclear weapons. All of our efforts must now be focused on winning the war. This means delaying your doctorate. But, Dick, it means that you can marry. You'd be leaving Princeton, so your scholarship becomes immaterial. And if you agree to go, you'll be on the government's payroll. I recall there's a sanatorium in Albuquerque. You could visit Arlene on weekends.
I don't know if Putsy can stand the long train ride.
I will arrange for you to occupy a private compartment, my wedding gift, with a bed big enough so that you can hold her in your arms all the way. Go home and arrange your affairs.
Arlene says she's got bacteria in her mouth, so she doesn't let my brother, the scientist, stick his tongue in there.
Drink your milk, dear.
If they don't kiss, what do?
Well, because Riddy's mail is all being censored now, Arlene thought it would be fun if we all learned Chinese to drive the censors crazy. Riddy's defense work is becoming more secret. It could drag on for months, so they're practicing a private code for the hard times ahead.
They're making plans.
Mel, he could get killer germs from her. Die.
Mama, you see germs in the milk of human kindness.
Joan, that's pretty good.
Joan, I know you think we're overprotective about things that could hurt your children, but we have good reason to be afraid. And I'm going to tell you why life has taught us to be apprehensive. You're older now, and we're going to need your help soon. My father's heart tells me there are some difficult trials ahead for us as a family. You had an older brother who died.
Henry.
Someday, when you have children, you'll know.
Mel, Dr. Gold said that
nothing is worse than the death of a child. Nothing. We don't know what killed Henry. Meningitis, most likely. Modern science failed. We were so helpless to save him. But now, we're going to wage a life and death war in this house.
Joni, we couldn't survive another death.
Why did he come home in the middle of the term? Joan, you know.
I love her.
He's come home.
Don't say it. Don't think it.
I'm home.
Riddy, get in here.
Mel, your blood pressure.
Let me do the talking.
I know how to talk to my own son.
You don't know the difference between an electron and a photon. I taught him to think for himself.
And now that he's thinking for himself, you don't like it. I don't get it.
He's not thinking for the first time. That's the problem.
He's going to have a wonderful life. Just not yet.
When? If not now, when?
Joan?
Didn't a wise Jewish man say that, if not now?
Joan!
I'm not in the room.
I feel like an old-fashioned father for once.
Good.
How old is the boy? 22, 23?
Pop, I stopped by the bank like you asked. What's for dinner?
Who can eat? Sit.
Obey your father.
For starters, so, you become educated. There's one question I've always had that I've never understood very well, and since I may never have another chance, I want you to explain it to me.
What?
When an atom makes a transition from one state to another, it emits a particle of light called a photon.
Right.
Is the photon in the atom ahead of time, or is there no photon in it to start with?
There's no photon in there. It's just that when the electron makes a transition, it comes.
Where does it come from, then? How does it come out?
I have a happy day with the woman I love, and I come home and you're waiting for me with your daggers drawn. Look, Putsy made some pencils for me. They say, Putsy loves Coach. Here in gold letters. She calls me Coach. Can you beat that?
Nobody touch. Killer germs. Go wash your hands.
Shamasher.
Chung.
Hey, I want a report in English.
Censorship.
Why were you given a leave of absence in the middle of the term?
I can tell you about my PhD research, and that's all.
This is Feynman University, and today you're taking your final oral examination. We're going to determine if the school is going to put its name on you or strip you.
I got the Feynman name on
Well,
me.
if you fail, you're going to be out of this family forever.
Ain't fair. Didn't give a guy time to prepare.
You've been preparing all your life for tonight, and you were prepared fine until you got distracted and started taking the wrong path.
I never thought of us Feynmans as a school.
Well, what do you think this kitchen is? A classroom.
Oh, yeah, Riddy was my first teacher.
And Poppy was mine.
Didn't I teach anybody anything? Well?
The soft stuff. Compassion, mercy.
Milk.
Humor.
You taught him to have a big mouth.
I told you they don't kiss. Is that why you're getting an oral examination, to see if you got germs in there?
Joan, an oral examination isn't about kissing. Before a guy is granted a Ph.D., he has to research and write his doctoral thesis. Then he's got to go into a room no bigger than this and stand before dried-up, sexless old fogies.
Like Mommy and Pappy.
Right.
Thank you.
And God help you if your answers contradict their view of the world. But the research part is fun.
What's fun about it?
Well, in part, I want to come up with a mathematical theory that explains how the world works. A unifying key that will unlock the unknown. A new law.
He's a Moses.
No one's ever been able to solve what you want to solve, not even Einstein.
Yeah, the problem's too big for you to understand.
Pretty.
So explain it to me.
It'd be like Chinese to you. You don't have the numbers.
Try me.
I can't try to explain the answer to your question about photons. You don't have the knowledge, the vocabulary, the numbers to get it. And I ain't got it in me yet to explain it to you in simple terms. Yeah. Families are like a bath. At first they're great, then they're not so hot. Phooey. Phooey, 1,000 times phooey.
Riddy, you look ugly. Give me a pocket comb.
Pocket comb? My pockets don't need combing. Pop, here's the deposit slip.
I asked you to do banking transactions for me so you'll learn the value of money.
So you taught me the value of numbers, and for that I'm grateful. But money... Don't you feel humiliated living in my grandfather's house? I do. We were so poor during the worst of the Depression, you couldn't afford my going through puberty.
Spell Mississippi for me.
The state or the river?
He's out of control.
We're not poor. That's a lie. What's puberty?
I don't know. I never had it. In this house, it's having to grow up too fast. I was a good student. Did everything I was told. And then I get shipped out of town to duke it out with animals older than me, bigger than me, because a lot was riding on my education. Phooey. I'm tired of being good. I'm tired of disappointing people, because no matter how good I do, how hard I work, how can I live up to people's expectations? It's really hard to understand the laws of life around here. I know I trip up. I get confused by the mixed signals you put out. Sex and science don't mix. Well, what is that? And not just Feynman University. The big universities in my life condemn bodies getting together. It ain't scientific. It ain't human. It's far easier to find an equation that couples space and light than to find a formula that integrates work and love. Life ain't so cut and dry. It's weird. It's wonderful. And I'm going around spreading a gut trying to put it all together. The truth is, I ain't so bright. I just spend more time than most guys concentrating on difficult stuff. Sometimes I think I'd accomplish more being irresponsible. God, the hell with it.
I think he's going through puberty today. Hey, Riddy, how's the pretty sick girl?
Her parents don't take care of her enough.
She's a lovely girl. So accomplished.
I'm going to tie the knot with her.
What?
I'm going to marry Arlene tomorrow. I got a judge lined up. I've got to get back to work. You want to come? It's wartime. Everything's happening in a hurry.
Who's ever heard of a married student?
Mel, your blood pressure.
Lucille, it isn't just that his school life would go down the drain. Riddy could catch something from her. A killer disease.
He can't marry her. He could die.
Hey, Riddy, I got a present I've been saving for you. Better give it to you now before my blood pressure gets me. Here, catch. Hey, he caught it. For the first time, Butterfingers caught a fly.
What is this? Why'd you put so many ribbons on this? Phooey, I gotta keep moving. Got a lot of stuff on my mind and no time left to do it. Anybody telephone me?
Son, Arlene is gonna die.
We're all gonna die someday, so why worry about it?
Already.
Death don't frighten me one bit. The important thing is to live now. We'll have a fun time for a couple of years. I want to make her happy. The world ain't going to exist too much longer anyhow. Oh, Pop. A lab coat. Holy Toledo.
Put it on, Dr. Feynman.
I ain't a Ph.D. yet.
I know. But I may not make it to your graduation ceremonies.
The war's thrown a wrench smack into the research I've been doing with my doctorate. My professors want me to interrupt the pure research I've been doing, my space-time approach to quantum electrodynamics. And join a team of scientific altacakas. Go to a secret place in New Mexico, work on defense problems.
What?
The gang's leaving Princeton and heading out to the desert. Everybody's in a hurry.
What, you think Hitler's gonna win?
I'm gonna give him the finger.
Oh, yeah? How's that, tough guy?
I can't talk.
Well, I'm a German spy? I've never done anything in my life worth keeping secret. Really, if not sharing secrets makes you feel like you got the private key to the Holy of Holies, talk your mumbo-jumbo to Oppie. Don't talk to me. Oh, yeah. There's one big secret you don't know. I went up to MIT to have a glass tea with Professor Oppenheimer to discuss your future. He wanted my approval about you going on with your studies. He said the life of a scientist was so tough. He needed to know if the family would support you, heal you at home when times were rough. The guy is such a class act. Clearly living a dream life. My dream life. I wanted that dream life for you. So I said yes, and I lost my son. You have surpassed me in knowledge.
Let me clue you into a big secret, man to man. Because I want you to know a little bit about my place in the world as a man. I'll keep it clean. I once received the favors of a nice, fun dame who used to give me French fries to help me through some lonely patches when I wasn't home. Well, I was faced with losing face at my fraternity if I took her to a fancy faculty function. So I didn't. I had to tell her I couldn't take her, even though I promised I would. I did it for your sake. Because so much had been riding on my education, I didn't want to spoil my chances, make a bad impression. Well, I haven't gotten over it. What I did to that girl. And I swore to myself I wouldn't do what the world wants ever again. Of course, there's no comparison, my feelings for Arlene and my feelings for Dodo, but Pop, you didn't want to bring up a non-learner. Butterfingers has been learning a thing or two about stuff ain't in books, deep stuff.
I always wanted to make life an adventure for you.
What's it going to take for you to be happy with me?
Be responsible for a change. Give up the girl.
Thanks for the white coat. It's going to make a beautiful dress for my bride.
Honor it.
How sublime. Ooh.
Cold, honey? Here.
Oh, no. This lab coat is yours.
It's your wedding dress. Marry me tomorrow. I promise not to touch you. Military secret. We're working on an explosive device that'll put a stop to wars for all time. I'm telling you so you'll realize that I got a lot on my mind. Makes all my blood rush to my head all the time. Ain't got body fluids left over to come to a boiling point. I'm hot to hold you. You'll marry me, won't you?
I don't want to die a virgin.
You should pack these shirts, too. That nice Lowenthal boy from the Bronx telephoned, Julius. Said he sorry he can't attend your wedding, too last minute. Julius said he had to host a big meeting. Apparently he's become a captain in the defense industry. He can get you a big-time job, so you don't have to run off. He wants to take you to lunch on Monday.
Get dressed, Mom. I want you to look beautiful.
How can I go to a wedding that's going to kill your father? Ready? I forbid you to go out that door. On my knees, I'm begging you.
Mama, don't. You're tearing your last good stockings.
Oh, I am not getting up until you become my son again.
Well, I'll just... You look so beautiful up close.
I'm trying to save your life, Riddy.
Mama, I'm a success.
Not as a son.
Isn't it great that we love each other so much that it's natural for us to kneel down on the floor together and nobody's laughing? Here's my pocket comb. You want to comb my hair?
Of course.
I'll write you letters.
Liar. You never gave the postman much work. No. Don't write. Why fake your affection? We're not the Feynman family from Far Rockaway anymore. Why aren't you packing any winter clothes?
After we get married, we're taking the train to New Mexico. So it'll be a double thing. A honeymoon and a chance to play on the team, working on the most important science project known to man.
I hate science!
Oh, Mama, that's crazy.
Crazy? You become frightening, unnatural in my sight. First, you proposed to a seriously sick girl who could carry you off with her to the grave.
We're holding back till she's better.
And then you interrupt your studies to engage in making frightening weaponry. Better you should be a foot soldier fighting fascism than a boy on a production line manufacturing machines so monstrous that you gotta go hide your face in the mountains somewhere to do it. There's something very ungodly about the whole thing. Why don't you see that? Why aren't you afraid? A success? You're so pathetic. We're living the end of our lives and you don't even know it. She's gonna break your heart.
The doctor's left now, Mr. Feynman. You can go in and see your wife.
Thanks, ma'am.
Come in. But you must stay behind the screen.
Oh. Your perfume. The unsettling power of your body in a bed so close.
Stop. Calm down. Breathe.
Okay. It drives the senses crazy that we write to each other in Chinese pictograms. Because you draw and paint, it's really helping me to make visual diagrams of dry mathematical concepts. So I can explain tough ideas to my pals. I do my work, but my superiors are disconcerted about me.
Why?
Because I am essentially a free man. That makes me a very suspicious character around that sweaty male enclave. The site was formerly a boys' school. Did you know that? The whole place is like a hot locker room. I always wanted to belong to, be accepted by energetic, virile pals, striving toward a common goal. Well, I can't wait to get out of there. Come to you.
I live for our visits.
Me too.
Are you calmed down enough to remove the screen now? Oh, Dick, don't kiss me yet. I got a little fever.
Doesn't your temperature shoot up when I come on weekends?
Yeah.
That's a good sign. That I kill you.
Where do you spend the night in Albuquerque? What is it? You're turning red.
You give me sunstroke, lady.
Have a seat. Aren't you exhausted from traveling like a pioneer across 100 miles of desert?
Remind me to give you something I brought you.
Oh, where is it?
In my pocket. Don't fall off the bed.
Oh.
Hands off. There's a story that goes with it first. Ain't expensive, so see, the story adds value to it.
Please don't spend on stuff. I'm getting worried about money.
Why? I'm making $300 a month. Wow.
But we spend twice that. The sanatorium is so expensive, and my savings are running out. Of course, if I die, then I won't be a financial drain. How much do you spend to sleep over?
50 cents. It's cheap.
A boarding house?
No, a whorehouse. 50 cents and clean sheets.
Coach!
Yeah, because of the war, the town's full up. Don't worry about it. By day, I have my putsy Madonna.
And by night?
Clean sheets. I learned early that you can always find a bed in a brothel. How am I going to make money for us? My pop made about $5,000 a year. I don't need more than that.
Don't you think you'll get a top teaching job?
My pop asked me a question about physics I couldn't explain to him. I've really felt bad about that ever since. He used to explain stuff to me, summers. The other kids would want to go walking in the woods with us, but my pop wouldn't want to take them along. He had a personal father-son thing with me. So he poured all his wonder of nature into me. I feel I want to convey my wonder about the world to others, students maybe.
Since you don't have a son of your own. So, tell me my story for today.
Once upon a time.
Oh, I love this. Once upon a time,
I met an old guy in the desert. I take a shortcut. He's got a well. So I stop, fill my canteen, leave him some pennies. He finally got the courage to come and talk with me. A real gentleman of the old school, bowed and introduced himself as Don Moises de Toledo.
he was afraid of you?
He thought I worked for the Spanish Inquisition.
Maybe he's been hiding here a couple of 100 years.
Maybe people don't die around here.
What did he tell you?
Seems a lot of Jews came over at the time of the Inquisition, and he joined a caravan of conquistadors, coming to New Mexico. Those cavaliers, they traveled in great style. Every night, he said, they'd light a big fire, eat and drink. Musicians would play and actors would perform a play for their enjoyment. That's why I'm a little late today, because he wanted to pass on his story to me.
When an old person wants to have a word with you, it's important to stop running and listen. How did you gain his confidence?
I told him I was a Jew, too. Putsy, the poor old guy cried for joy. He's from Toledo, and he kept the key to his house, so when the persecution blew over, he could go back, unlock his door. When I said goodbye, he gave me the key to his house in Toledo, Spain. Said he finally faced the fact he's not going to make it back. Wanted me to have it. It's for you.
Thanks. Did you find it on the road?
Keep it.
The head nurse told me my father's coming to visit. All along, my father said I've got sick glands. Curable.
Your father made me promise to go along with that diagnosis. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let you marry me.
What have I got? I've been using all this free time to look up my symptoms in medical books. Tell me, Coach. What have I got? Coach. What have I got?
Lymphatic tuberculosis.
And there's no cure for it. I suspect my father's coming all the way out here to say goodbye. Doctors must have told him I'm getting worse. So, like you're done, I'm not going to make it back.
I had a letter from Joan. She sure knows me. Knows I wouldn't read her letters unless she wrote them in really tough code. Help me figure it out.
Do you mind if we decode the letter later?
Putsy, this is your time. What do you want to do?
Have a baby.
Holy Toledo.
How are you feeling? Coach, are you too tired?
To make a baby? No.
I think we should before it's too late.
Okay, let's try.
Oh, the nurses are nuts about you. I'm so jealous. Oh.
What?
You got one of your father's clean handkerchiefs?
Sure. Here.
Put this over your mouth and nose.
Am I so ugly?
Coach, what I've got could kill you.
Good thing my mom told me never to leave the house without a clean handkerchief. Oh, boy. Marriage. It's the great equation.
Love me. Oh, love me. Love me.
Part 1 of Moving Bodies by Arthur Giron. Episode 2's out right now. Make sure you subscribe to the Relativity series wherever you listen to podcasts. Produced by LA Theater Works. Lead funding for the Relativity series is provided by the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, bridging science and the arts in the modern world.